For me to say that I'm going to move here because really an understatement for me to be here today because I've been working on the Palisade for several years, trying to make this car the best vehicle that we have available on the market. So I'm going to walk you through some of the details, some of the great features, and some of the great focus on things that we're doing for the Palisade. These are just a few design sketches. You can see the illustration, the ideations of how the visual cues moved into the new Palisade. Specifically like the taller hood, the taller fenders, the more upright pillars, that really gives us a unique design, kind of US-centric design to give it more of an SUV profile. When it comes to the interior, we really wanted to focus on being inspired by timeless mid-century furniture, and you'll see a lot of the similarities when you look at the interior of the vehicle. There's no sharp edges, it's all rounded. Pretty much, mid-century furniture, but we really wanted to show the core value of what the Palisade is, and that's family. So you can kind of see you're in a family room setting. That's kind of how we set the interior of the Palisade. You can kind of see here, you got kind of an opulent grandness of space. That was kind of the key phrase that we focused on in the interior design. And just a few little things here, just some inspiration. You can see the center console, but one of the cool things that I thought was, we have all the hard buttons for all the important stuff on the vehicle, but on the center console, you're able to rest your palm there very conveniently so that you can access all those buttons. So just a lot of little details that I'm going to be showing as I kind of walk you through the Palisade. XRT Pro, this is the first Pro model that we're doing for the XRT. This is just the ideation of it, but you can see the aggressive and kind of ruggedness and off-road kind of theme that we've tied into this vehicle from a design standpoint. Now, for the Palisade, the key development priorities: bold, spacious design, family-oriented convenience, uncompromised safety, and journey-enhancing practical technology. So I'll walk you through some of these items. So the Palisade is going to be built at our large plant at Ulsan, Korea. I was actually there a few weeks ago, inspecting the vehicles, physically there. But the ICE, as Claudia mentioned, we've been selling for about a couple of months now, and the hybrid literally just started shipping, arriving at dealers. Now, one of the key things on the Palisade is the dimensions, both exterior and interior. We've increased it in almost every facet. When you take a look at the dimensions, the key thing here is the overall length and the wheelbase. 2.5 inches increase on the length, but 2.5 inches on the wheelbase. And you can see how we stack up against the competitors. But I really want to show where the benefit of that wheelbase increase is. So when you take a look at SUVs, total interior volume, which is passenger volume plus cargo volume, is really the key thing that we want to look at when you're looking at an SUV. Total interior volume, when you add those dimensions together, the Palisade is actually the top when it comes to total interior volume when you compare it to all these models in the 3-row SUV segment. So really excited. The interior volume is really where we wanted to focus and give our customers that comfort and convenience. So if I can talk a little bit more, I'll take it kind of to the next level, again, relating to that wheelbase and overall length increase. When you take a look at the interior dimensions on the second row, you see we're pretty well above the segment when it comes to second row legroom and second row headroom. When you go down to the third row, it gets a little interesting. You can see Palisade, we're at 32.1, right there with the competitors. But in that little green box, I'm showing a number of 33.6. So what that does is on the Palisade, our third row on the calligraphy trim has power adjustable seating, which is really, really unique in this segment, if not in the industry. But what that allows you to do is you're allowed to move from its original position. You can move the seat forward about 70 millimeters and about 40 millimeters backwards. So it gives you that added convenience and flexibility whether you need passenger space or cargo space. And then from an interior dimension, it's larger in almost every facet when you compare it to the previous Palisade. Again, relating to the wheelbase and the cargo dimensions, you can see the numbers behind the third row, second row, and first row. But again, we stack up pretty average for the consumers. But again, the other thing with these adjustable seats, what's pretty cool is you have the seating controls that you could adjust second and third row from the cargo area. So you're basically able to be flexible depending on what you need. But again, that number that I showed you for the legroom, it's the same case for the cargo area. You're able to move the seat forward and get up to 20.2 cubic feet of cargo space. And then if you think about it, you have class leading second row room. You can move those seats forward a little bit. You can move the third row forward a little bit, and then you can increase that cargo room. So some of the engineering highlights that I'll go over to you. The Palisade, which is a pretty remarkable number, achieves a 0.31 coefficient of drag. Pretty remarkable when you consider the size of this vehicle. Our engineers and our designers work closely to really optimize just certain things like the corner of the bumpers. They optimize the rear airflow. They minimize the flow in the rear by certain things like the design of the bumper as well as the spoiler. And then also from a cooling drag and underbody airflow, we have these active air flaps that are standard on the models that it reduces the drag by about 8%. So it is functional. And then also the underbody airflow, we've expanded the underbody covers to give better airflow as well. So with the Palisade being a family-oriented vehicle, we really wanted to focus on cabin comfort and convenience. So one of the things that I guarantee you're gonna notice, especially compared to the previous Palisade, is just the quietness of the vehicle. The road noise, we've applied a full absorbing layered carpet. You could see previously it was a partial layer in the previous Palisade. We increased the absorption pads, and then also wind noise. We've increased the glass thickness to help diffuse some of that wind noise coming into the cabin. In addition to that, we're applying acoustic glass on the windshield as well as the side windows. From a ride and handling standpoint, because the vehicle is obviously larger and heavier, we did retune the suspension to accommodate that. And also for the rear suspension, we standardized the rear self-leveling suspension, again, just for added ride comfort. As well as braking, we've improved the size of the brakes as well as the stopping distance. Again, with the Palisade, safety is a big focus for us, again, because it's a family-oriented vehicle. We've enhanced the overall structure, we've increased the hot stamping, we've optimized the body structure, we've reinforced the B-pillar, again, all relating to passenger safety. We've increased the airbag count. One other unique thing is seatbelt pretensioners. Might seem like such a little thing, but we actually apply in the second and third row seatbelt pretensioners, which is a rarity in the class, as well as the second row height adjustment for the thing. So again, it's safer and it's just more comfortable. One of the other cool enhancements that I have on the Palisade is the safe exit assist. You guys are aware if you're kind of parallel parked, and a vehicle is coming and there's a blind spot behind you, you'll get an audible warning and the vehicles will automatically lock. In this particular case, on the rear doors, there's a little kind of blind spot indicator, if you will. When that light is on, you're getting an audible noise and you're also getting the doors locked, and it lets the passengers know it's not safe to exit the vehicle yet. So just convenience, trying to think of all the passengers. From a powertrain perspective, today you're going to be driving the standard 3.5 liter V6, very powerful 287 horsepower. This is our next iteration of our V6 Lambda engine. It offers more power per displacement, offers a towing capacity of 5,000 pounds, and as Claudia mentioned, literally we just started shipping our hybrid models, which have the hybrid powertrain that deliver much more horsepower and much more fuel economy. So one of the new things that Hyundai, especially for this Palisade, that I'm really proud of is the factory installed tow hitch. So as I mentioned, the 5,000 pound towing capacity, but there's easy tow hitch access. So in the rear bumper, there's a cover, and you're able to remove that cover, and in there, when it's exposed, you'll see that there's a trailer wire connector for the lights. There's a trailer brake module that, if the trailer has the electronic brakes, it's going to be integrated into the vehicle. And then it also comes with the hitch attachment. And then there's also a tow mode that's standard on all of the Palisade trims. And then it also has a trailer mode where it walks down step by step, connecting the trailer, connecting the lights, and making sure everything is safe. Part of the reason why we wanted to offer this as a unique option installed in our factory is we took a look at some of the Palisade accessories that were purchased. The second most accessory purchased on this is trailer hitches. And it's not necessarily for towing. They're also putting a lot of attachments, for bikes, just for other activities and adventurous items. So very high demand feature that we felt, we wanted to offer that unique thing. So you're going to be driving the XRT Pros and the Calligraphies today. All those vehicles have the tow hitch in there. You just can't see them. Our H-Track all-wheel drive system, we've enhanced it by adding terrain modes, so now you have a mud, sand, and snow option, really just to optimize the power and traction depending on the road surfaces. Some of the interior amenities and technology, I'll kind of briefly walk you through. So on the interior, the first thing that you're going to notice is a very opening, spacious, welcoming space. Very flexible cabin and flexible seating. We also offer Napa leather, premium soft touch materials. The floating console with the lower storage area, you're able to fit a purse or a small bag in there. And then, as I mentioned, very intuitive audio and HVAC controls. We made it a point to make sure that we added these hard buttons for the convenience of accessing all this stuff. From a technology standpoint, you have standard panoramic curved dual 12.3-inch displays. When you take a look at it, you see it kind of integrated into the dash, similarly to the image I showed you of the TV on the living room, kind of mounted on the wall. Probably one of my more exciting features is we have now an integrated front and rear dash camera that I'll share a little bit more details about in a second. Then we also offer a Bose 14-speaker audio system and then a UVC sterilizer, which is pretty unique. From a connectivity standpoint, we have all the connectivity you need on this vehicle. We have standard Apple wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. The previous Palisade did not have that, so that's a huge thing. We also have standard 100-watt capable USB-C ports. You can basically charge your laptop with the 100-watt cable. And then the digital key premium, we've enhanced the system to where now your cell phone could act as your key fob. So you could just have your phone in your pocket, you could reach for the door, unlock it, you could just start the car with the phone in your pocket as well. We also have Hyundai Pay and OTA updates. OTA updates is new, so really just convenience for the customer to keep the vehicle software up to date. We also have Blue Link Plus, which is available for first owners for the lifetime of the vehicle. And also, we're really expanding our digital features and services where you're able to purchase audio streaming or certain apps on the phone. One of the other standout features on this Palisade is going to be the seating convenience. And I'll kind of walk you through just all the great features that we have here. So if you can kind of just imagine you're sitting in the first row, you've got power relaxation seats for both front seats. You have an ergomotion driver seat. And then also you have an easy pass seat switch on the passenger seat. So very convenient that you could adjust that front row seat when you're sitting in the driver's seat or even from the rear. And then as I mentioned, one of the cool things, one of my other favorite features is the touchscreen seat controls. You can see on the audio system, you're able to pull up, pull down the second and third row seats. You're able to activate the heated and ventilated seats. Even the heated third row seats, you're able to activate that all from the touchscreen. When you get to the second row, you also get power adjustable relaxation seats. So you get power adjustable second row seats. You also have heated ventilated seats, and then you have the option of a bench seat where you get 2 or 3 occupant seating on there available. On the third row, this is where we really wanted to show that we didn't forget about that person. So in the third row, you also have power adjustable seating. You're able to adjust the recline. You're able to slide it forward and aft, just for that added convenience. And then also we have heated seats. We also have 100-watt USB-C ports in the third row as well. Now, for the integrated dash cam, this is it's integrated into the vehicle. You can see where the camera is mounted on the front windshield, on the back as well. So there's no messy wires. You're not mounting it on the windshield, blocking your view. So it's all integrated into the vehicle. But what this does is it records while you're driving, while it's parked. It has motion and impact sensors. You're able to access the footage on the touchscreen, and then all of this data is locally stored in a 64 gigabyte memory card, which you're able to upgrade as well to 512. So one of the top purchased accessories in the industry today, and some even companies or even like taxis, they require them to have dash cams. So we saw that as an opportunity, and we wanted to offer it integrated into the vehicle for our customers. Some of the interior improvements, because of that longer wheelbase, we improved the ingress and egress getting into the third row. One of the remarkable things is this third row glass. So this is the previous Palisade. It increased in size about 60%. So you have basically more light going in, and you're able to get better visibility when you're sitting in that third row. So some people get claustrophobic because the glass is so small. You've got a huge C-pillar that's blocking your view. In this case, we've made that C-pillar smaller, moved the bulbous to the rear, and we increased the size of that window. This is going to be This is near and dear to my heart. So a few years ago during our early model reviews, I was getting in and out of the vehicle, getting out of the second row, getting into the third row, and I was having a little trouble. It was nowhere to hold or hang on to it. I couldn't see. So one of the things that I requested to our designers was this assist grip on there. Now, it doesn't look nice, but I guarantee you it's helpful. So I've had a couple people tell me that they actually did use it, and they found it much more helpful, that they noticed that it was in there. Some of the little cool things, second row seatbelt. So the seatbelt buckle has an illumination just so it's easier to see at night, just because it's kind of tucked in there. Passenger talk, we've enhanced the passenger talk. There's now 2 mics, but you're able to communicate with the passengers in the rear without having to raise your voice. We also have tri-zone climate control that's standard on all the vehicles. The all-new Palisade also comes standard with all of our Smart Sense safety suite features that you see here. And we also have the additional safety features that you guys are already familiar with, but we offer these optional on the Palisade. So just to go into a little bit of detail on the trim structure, we have 7 distinct trims, and the main reason for so many is we wanted to appeal to a broad range of customers. We know this is a family-oriented vehicle. These customers have very, very specific needs, and so we're able to accomplish that by the different trim levels and offerings that we have. So just to walk you through some key features, so the standard, our entry basic vehicle, standard 3.6 liter engine, as I mentioned, the Smart Sense safety suite, but you have the 100-watt cables, the wireless Apple CarPlay, you have standard navigation, you have Blue Link, and you have all the features you have listed there. As you walk up to the SEL, this is our well-equipped model. You can see where you get the power tailgate, you get leather trim seating, you get the captain's second row, and then you get some other features there as well. We have the SEL Convenience and then the SEL Premium. You can see SEL Convenience, obviously we add more convenience items. The Premium, we start to add more seating convenience or premium features that you would typically see on more expensive trims. The XRT Pro, so this is the one I want to talk a little bit about. This is our more capable model, more rugged, specialized time. We really wanted to focus. This vehicle was designed and developed specifically for North America. Hyundai, we were specifically asking Hyundai Korea to say, hey, we need this car more capable. So we demonstrated, what the competitors are doing in the segment. We've enhanced the off-road capability. We have all-terrain tires. We have an electronic rear limited slip differential, standard all-wheel drive. We have an inch of ground clearance when you compare it to the previous Palisade. We've also improved the approach and departure angles, and we've also put in front and rear recovery hooks as well. But we also added a bunch of convenience features. You have a real-time pitch and roll display, which is pretty cool. And then also there's a unique front ground view camera when you're going off-road at low speeds. And then we put in certain things like heated and ventilated front seats, heated steering wheel, and then the premium audio system. The limited features, so this is our more advanced model. What you're gonna see is the larger wheels, so you get 20-inch wheels, but the key thing here is the lower portion of the vehicle is all gloss back, so it really gives it a very sporty look. And then the calligraphy. So this is what you guys are gonna be driving today. This is our luxury model, fully loaded with all the bells and whistles of all the features that I've shared with you today. So from the exterior and interior, we offered 10 very premium colors for the vehicle. And then on the interior, we offer basically black and gray is on the majority of the trims. But as you get up to the calligraphy, we start to expand that and have a beige navy interior, as well as this new brown interior that's actually very, very lovely. So from a pricing standpoint, what we really wanted to do was make sure that we kept this vehicle under $40,000. Some of the competitors in the segment have gone over that. We wanted to deliver this vehicle with all the great standard features under $40,000. You can see all the trims are available with an all-wheel drive option, and then as you step all the way up, you see the XRT Pro coming in under $50,000, and then the front-wheel drive calligraphy comes in at $54,000. So to close the Palisade, I just want to go over the key things. So it's an all-new, bold, premium design that delivers a commanding on-road presence. It's a very welcoming, open space interior with unmatched convenience and comfort amenities for everyone. And also standard Smart Sense safety suite, and then also our first ever XRT Pro with the off-road capability for the adventurous. families. And then also, you know, it sounds like we've got a lot going on with this ICE model, but really we're just getting started. Our hybrid, our first ever hybrid that delivers 329 horsepower and over 34 miles combined, MPG, and also over 600 miles on a full tank, which I think is pretty remarkable. The vehicles are available now. Claudia had mentioned there's about 500 or 600 in dealer inventory. We're starting to really increase that. We're starting to get them into the dealerships. We really want our customers to really take a look at the Palisade. I think we've given them all the options that they need to where they can select their ideal vehicle. So that concludes the presentation. Thank you very much for your attention.